Welcome back. Today we explore the tiny mouse who claimed Cinderella. Hit subscribe for more epic recaps. You all know Cinderella's classic fairy tale, right? But this version has a dark twist. With her fairy's help, Cinderella reached the palace ball. At midnight's stroke, she fled, leaving only a shimmering glass slipper behind. Smitten, the prince launched a kingdom-wide search to find his mysterious, barefooted love. They wed in glory, promising a lifetime of eternal joy and royal bliss. Yet, reality is cruel. Cinderella's happily ever after didn't even survive 10 years. Cast out for being barren, she weeps alone while her husband frolics with mistresses. Lesson learned: never trust a man who fell for a shoe, not a face. Our main character regrets everything. Now, aged and broken, she can't stop the tragic wedding. Meet our lead, a tiny mouse. Her final wish? To see Cinderella smile once more. Her fairy guardian, the godfather, moved by her selfless heart, grants a wish for the mouse's happiness. He prays she becomes strong and never meets a scoundrel like that prince again. This silver-haired hottie with mysterious marks seems important. Let's remember this handsome godfather. Suddenly, our adorable mouse wakes up. Sarah is poking her tiny, plump cheeks. Is this a dream? She watches as Sarah's cruel stepsisters begin their usual bullying. They mock her as Cinderella, though her true noble name is Seraphina Bluewood. If this is regression, our mouse is determined to protect Sarah at all costs. When the trashy Count Bluewood insults Sarah, Mousy launches an attack, biting his nose. Servants rush in as the Count screams in absolute agony and shock. Sarah begs for mercy, but a cruel servant dares to grab her wrist roughly. Worried for Sarah, Mousy stops biting, only to be slammed onto the cold ground. Sarah gasps, seeing her tiny, loyal friend broken and bleeding on the floor. She defends her friend, claiming this meadow mouse is clean and precious to her. The enraged stepmother grabs Sarah's hair, dragging her into the dark storage room. Sarah pleads for help, desperately needing a healing potion to save her little friend. She weeps, thanking the brave mouse for fighting the Count on her behalf. Inspired by a storybook hero, Sarah names her brave protector 𝒂𝒐𝒔𝒄𝒓𝒅. The name warms her soul, a stark contrast to being called worthless by others. With a gentle kiss, holy light erupts, and the mouse transforms into a girl. She was cute before, but this human form is a total cuteness overload. Suddenly, the garden is trampled as the formidable Duke 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒏 makes his grand entrance. His grandson, Edmund, demands the Count release the kidnapped beast child within 10 minutes. The Count panics, sputtering in outrage at these sudden, terrifying accusations. Ed reveals a magic orb found the missing rats in air, a cursed field mouse beastman right here. The Count realizes the truth. It's the very mouse Sarah was protecting earlier. He barks orders to his servant Alfred to find the creature immediately. He isn't planning a rescue. He wants the evidence silenced forever. The 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒏 are beastman kings, and their presence means Mousy is high royalty. If a duke appears for one mouse, she must possess an incredible secret. Mousy knows too many family secrets. If she speaks, the Bluewoods are finished. Inside, Sarah hugs 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒏, relieved to see the little girl is completely healed. With those twitching ears and tail, Sarah finds her new friend absolutely adorable. But 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒏 is frozen. From a quiet mouse to a human, everything is terrifyingly new. Sarah pulls 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒏 close. It's okay, she whispers. Everything will be fine. Once they flee this hell, they'll reclaim every lost moment together. Suddenly, the heavy silence shatters. Alfred storms in, shouting for 𝒂𝒂𝒏's head. Run, 𝒂𝒂𝒏, now. Scurrying into the shadows as a mouse, she vanishes. Then, Edmund appears. The name 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒏 rings out. Sarah's heart leaps with newfound hope. She screams for mercy. Save her! They're trying to kill my friend. Perhaps a helping hand is needed? Far away from this wicked prince. Alfred sneers, snatching Sarah's arm with pure, burning malice. He calls her a lowly maid. The stinging words trigger painful, buried memories. Locked away in a cold attic, she was always the unwanted child. Loneliness was her only friend, until 𝒂𝒂𝒏 changed her world forever. No more hiding! I am Seraphina, the youngest daughter of House Bluewood. Alfred mocks her claim, his violence escalating against her noble spirit. But fate has a different plan for this trashy servant. Edmund strikes. He crushes Alfred's wrist, forcing him to let go. Seraphina Bluewood? The family records are hauntingly empty of her name. Alfred's face twists into a smirk. Abandoned and unacknowledged by her own blood, Sarah doesn't flinch. As long as Edmund protects her tiny friend, the little beastkin trembles as Edmund's magic shatters the very wall. Edmund's eyes soften at the sight. Our little Mousy stands frozen. Transforming into a girl, 𝒖🔕 clings to Sarah through joyful, heartfelt tears. With a humble bow, Edmund offers his silken handkerchief to her. Sarah accepts with a smile, but little 𝒖🔕 is not feeling the vibe. So tiny, yet her protective instincts are completely off the charts. In the drawing room, the Count waits greedily for news of the kill. The door flies open. It's not his lackey, but the legendary Edmund. And there stands Sarah, holding the very life he tried to snuff out. The snake smiles, thanking Sarah for rescuing the lady with sickening charm. The absolute audacity of this man. He demands the girl, but 𝒖🔕 sees right through his murderous lies. 𝒖🔕 bites hard. The Count's mask shatters, revealing his hidden rage. Edmund's voice turns to ice. "Did you order this lady's death?" He denies it all, but the Duke's earring has been recording everything. The magical playback begins to speak the truth. Evidence surfaces. The Count's world begins to crumble into pieces. The 𝒂𝒂𝒂 lineage is unmatched. Look at those piercing golden eyes. The 𝒂𝒂𝒂 family demands justice through a chorus of vengeful, high-pitched squeaks. The Duke agrees. Even 𝒖🔕 shudders at the severity of the fate. "Don't bother running," the Duke warns. "We will always find you." Reality hits like a hammer. The Count collapses, broken and utterly defeated. Let those squeaks be their downfall. This family must finally burn. "We're taking you home," Edmund promises. 𝒖🔕 blinks in total shock. Her parents never stopped searching. The long journey is finally over. From a stray mouse to a noble daughter. The truth is staggering. The House of 𝒂𝒂𝒂 has journeyed to Bluewood Manor just for her. Despite her lost memories, her heart yearns for family. With sparkling eyes, 𝒖🔕 begs Sarah to join her on this fated journey. Sarah wavers, but 𝒖🔕 transforms into her tiny, adorable mouse form. That heart-melting squeak wins her over instantly. They reach the 𝒂𝒂𝒂 estate, but 𝒖🔕's cheeks flush with shame. This wasn't the glamorous life she promised her friend. But plot twist. Sarah can't even squeeze inside since it's literally a tiny, miniature mouse castle. How is this so precious? You see, this world is split between two massive continents. Terranolia, the realm of mankind, and Animanolia, where the mystical beast folk dwell. The 𝒂𝒂𝒂 territory stands between them, guarding the only passage with its legendary and strictly enforced iron gates. The beast realm remains hidden behind a seal, ruled by 𝒖🔕's own father, the High Priest. Divine blood dictates power here, and the family with the greatest healing gifts has always led the temple. A sudden memory flashes back to the very moment she first shed her fur for human skin. Her wounds vanished in seconds. Could she truly have inherited the legendary gift of saintly healing? At last, her parents emerge. 𝒖🔕 freezes in awe until her mother pulls her into a tearful embrace. It feels like a dream. Her father joins them, his voice trembling with regret for their lost years together. Joy overflows. She's no longer a stray. She finally has a family and a place to call home. 𝒖🔕 reassures them, declaring Sarah was the guardian angel who shielded her through every terrifying storm. Overcome with gratitude, the High Priest orders a grand banquet to honor the human who saved his precious daughter. Before long, the celebratory feast is laid out in all its mouth-watering glory. It's all mouse-sized. Sarah is absolutely charmed by the tiny delicacies and thanks them with a wide grin. During the meal, her mother mentions the Duke's report he knows 𝒖🔕 can now take human form at will. "How did you break the curse?" her mother asks. But 𝒖🔕 is just as clueless as everyone else. "That's impossible. Only a kiss of purest true love is supposed to shatter that ancient magical shackle." 𝒖🔕 shifts instantly. She eagerly asks Sarah if she loves her, and Sarah beams, confirming her deep feelings. She clings to Sarah, declaring she'll live in the human world. The table falls into a stunned, icy silence. Her mother suggests a compromise, staying under the protection and care of the powerful 𝒂𝒂𝒂 household. The Duke already anticipated this, swearing an oath to protect the little girl who is technically only 5 years old. But something feels off. 𝒖🔕 senses a shadow, as the family's dark curse hasn't truly vanished yet. She realizes her parents are sacrificing their own happiness, sending her away just to ensure her absolute survival. As a regressed mouse, 𝒖🔕's memories spark 10 years from now. A dark fate awaits their entire house. The treacherous House Basilisk will seize the priesthood. This isn't just bad luck. It's a cold-blooded snake conspiracy. Before the farewell, 𝒖🔕's mother bows to Sarah, thanking her for a debt that gold can never repay. Sarah insists 𝒖🔕 was her strength too. Hearing her daughter's new name, the mother accepts it with a smile. A quiet curiosity stirs in 𝒖🔕's mind. What was the name she was originally born with? Gracia. The name warms her soul. She now carries 2 names, both gifts from people who truly care. 𝒖🔕 Gracia 𝒂𝒂𝒂. What a pair! Her father then presents the holy hammer, a relic meant only for heirs. "Never strike a soul with this," he warns, his voice heavy with ancient and holy tradition. "But if shadows close in, use its divine light to find your path back to safety." Her father is deadly serious. Elodie keeps her questions hidden. She knows they'd only bury the truth deeper. Back in the carriage, her eyes widen at the 𝒂𝒂𝒂 streets, where humans and beasts walk side by side. But the moment they reach the grand mansion, the sheer reality of her situation hits like a wave. A massive crowd waits to see her. The poor, tiny girl shrinks back, paralyzed by the overwhelming attention. After a lifetime spent scurrying in shadows, the spotlight feels heavy. She's only ever known gazes of disgust. Is the author playing with our emotions? Ed snaps at Sir Hal for scaring her, leaving the wolf bewildered. "Why me?" the giant beastkin whimpers. Ed's cold reply? "Because you have the most terrifying face here." Ed then bans all predator-class beastkin from getting near the little mouse. Talk about a heartbreak for the fluff lovers. Once Elodie settles in, she realizes humans and beast folk coexist peacefully in 𝒂𝒂𝒂 under the Duke. But this peace is fleeting. In 5 years, the Duke will die from a mysterious heart attack. With the symbol of 𝒂𝒂𝒂 gone, racial tensions will explode, triggering the catastrophic Third Great War. The fragile peace treaty will shatter completely, plunging both races into a cycle of endless bloodshed. Even the brave Ed will fall in battle, leaving behind no body to be buried or mourned. Cruelly, a ceasefire is called right after Ed perishes, as if the world waited for his end. Though she is just a tiny mouse, Elodie is determined to save the 2 men who saved her. She asks to check the Duke's health, relying on her Ratson family bloodline to heal any illness. But Gramps proudly refuses, insisting his body is perfectly healthy and requires no medical attention at all. He even warns her not to treat the legendary holy hammer as if it were a common toy. Ed jokes she's just playing doctor, but the Duke claims his physician promised 50 more years of life. This clue reveals the truth to Elodie. His heart attack isn't a disease, but a slow-acting poison. Elodie's energetic personal maid is Squirrel. Squirrel brings new dresses, and Elodie spots several beautiful blue gowns that would look perfect on Sarah. Our heroine begins picking out lovely items for Sarah, only to find Sarah was doing the exact same thing for her at that moment. These sisters are truly precious. While Sarah bathes, Squirrel takes Elodie on a tour of the mansion. They run into Gramps and his right-hand man, 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒏, a powerful knight standing 6 feet tall. Seeing the adorable Elodie, the Duke scoops her up onto his shoulder to finally play doctor together. However, this game just involves her sitting on a sofa while the Duke focuses on his heavy administrative paperwork. A servant enters with Shindora leaves, which are usually used to help sharpen the mind during work. But Elodie pales as Velma powder is added. Mixing them creates a toxin that paralyzes the nerves. In a desperate blur of motion, Elodie lunges toward the Duke to stop him from drinking it. But she's too small, and her heroic leap ends with her falling face first onto the cold floor. Gramps picks her up as she frantically explains that the tea mixture will leave him unable to move. In 5 years, this specific chemical combination will become a popular method for untraceable assassinations. It provides a strong awakening effect initially, but the perfect ratio eventually destroys all physical senses. She claims she learned this from her parents, which gives the Duke a reason to trust her. The servant collapses in fear, crying that she only followed a popular recipe from the Earl of Hamilton. The Duke gazes at her, sensing that the maid is telling the truth about her source. He asks who gave her the recipe. Hearing Hamilton's name, his expression turns cold as he summons 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒏. Gramps still possesses a terrifying aura. In the dungeon, a bloodied Sir Hamilton still dares to deny the treasonous accusations against him. He begs for another chance, but 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒏 silences him, having confirmed that every ingredient and delivery route leads back to the Earl. Hamilton planned to make the Duke love the tea so much that no one would suspect the poison. Now that he is caught, he screams his hatred, claiming the Duke's very existence ruined his family and his future. To Gramps, this 24-year-old is still the boy he rescued from his parents' illegal slave trade. The Duke had hoped the boy would rise above his family's sins and find a righteous path. Instead, Hamilton chose darkness and must now face the lethal consequences of his ultimate betrayal. As a final mercy, the Duke grants him a swift death, proving he truly cared for the boy. With the threat neutralized, the Duke asks Elodie how she truly knew he was being poisoned. Knowing she can't easily fool the Duke's sharp intuition, Elodie prepares to use her past life's wisdom. Our tiny protagonist recalls her harrowing life as a lowly mouse. She describes the agonizing hunger of scavenging for survival. Before finding Sarah, she nearly perished from illness until a kind street rat saved her. teaching her how to find safe scraps in the cold, unforgiving city streets. He became her sole protector in that cruel world, but tragedy struck. He perished from human poison, a heartbreaking twist designed to shatter our hearts. But guys, just imagine that brave rat reincarnated as a legendary Parisian chef. 𝒖🔵 confesses her doctor game is a ruse to inspect his meals for safety. Tearfully, she admits her terror of losing loved ones, leaving Grandpa drowning in guilt. He lifts her with a tender smile, officially becoming Grandpa before the grand kitchen tour. He grants her full medical authority, yet 𝒖🔵 fears the staff will judge her past. Suddenly, the air fills with the sounds of a playful kitchen commotion. She catches the chef scolding his superior for being scary, even threatening a timeout. 𝒖🔵 sees radiating warmth instead of glares. While the Duke offers her a peaceful exit, she realizes she must face her fears to shatter the ancient family curse forever. Steeling her resolve, she takes the chef's hand, her first brave step toward healing. When she whispers her intent to monitor Grandpa's diet, the entire staff instantly melts. Honestly, same. The chef offers her walnut pie and almond milk luxuries she's never tasted. One bite of that divine treat and she is practically floating in pure paradise. 𝒖🔵 realizes identifying the Duke's favorite meals might reveal the truth behind his death. But when questioned, the Duke remains stoic, claiming he has no personal food preferences. He deflects, granting her total freedom of the estate save for the forbidden Serenity Villa. Big mistake, Gramps. Telling a curious mouse to stay away only fuels her interest. Her curiosity leads her to discover the villa houses one of the Duke's grandsons. There is Edmund, the stern yet soft-hearted heir to the noble 𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏 legacy. Then Zenobia, a future rogue, and poor Karen, destined for a tragic early end. Since Ed is free and Karen is sick, 𝒖🔵 suspects Zenobia is the resident. After a week of tranquility, the maid squirrel leads our girl out for garden sunshine. Suddenly, a serpent glides through the grass, catching her sharp, golden eyes. Paranoia strikes. Could it be a basilisk? She cautiously asks Squirrel about local snake clans. She learns of the boas and kingvilles residing within the safety of the territory. But basilisks? They are reclusive legends who rarely leave their ancestral lands without reason. Essentially, unless 𝒖🔵 seeks them out, a basilisk encounter remains a distant impossibility. She focuses instead on loelia flowers, mythical blooms famous for purging deadly toxins. But then, the atmosphere shifts as a shadow emerges from the dark woods. A boy with piercing crimson eyes appears, looking strangely familiar to our young heroine. Squirrel panics, shielding 𝒖🔵 as she begs young Master Karen to return to his palace. 𝒖🔵 knew Karen was sickly, assuming the staff's avoidance was due to contagious plague. However, the vibe in the garden feels far more ominous than mere illness. This isn't caution, it's primal terror, as if Squirrel is facing a dangerous, apex predator. The silent boy turns to leave, but our brave 𝒖🔵 refuses to let him vanish. Having survived countless predators as a mouse, she knows what true malice looks like. Sensing no evil, she approaches with a radiant smile and a beautiful flower gift. He recoils in shock, making her think he is simply overwhelmed by her kindness. She softly sets the bloom down and bids him a cheerful, smiling farewell. Stunned, Karen whispers that she was once hailed as the Empire's own divine miracle. But miracles mean nothing, for his touch turns everything, even that flower, into cold ash. 𝒖🔵 rushes towards Sarah, but nearly slams into Sir Hal, causing a chaotic double scream that leaves the massive knight trembling. Yet, 𝒖🔵's terror turns to bafflement. Why on earth is this towering beastman more frightened than a tiny girl like her? Hal, the legendary Silver Knight captain, is actually hiding his face because he heard the little Saintess was scared of him. It was just a joke from Ed, and seeing the giant act so silly makes our little one's fear vanish instantly. Overjoyed, Hal explains he is currently escorting a guest to meet with Sarah, much to the young lady's curiosity. But the moment 𝒖🔵 sees the visitor, she panics. It's Wellston, the Crown Prince's notorious and cunning personal messenger. In her past life, this man manipulated Sarah with false promises of royal love, leading her straight to the prince's grasp. Sarah ignores him, yet Wellston persists, arrogantly inviting her to high society events and the prince's upcoming royal birthday banquet. Sarah coldly informs him she possesses no noble title or status. She reveals her family treats her like a common servant, causing the messenger's greedy expression to falter momentarily. He shamelessly retorts that her beauty qualifies her to be a royal concubine, a disgusting proposal that reeks of absolute disrespect. Sarah walks away, but this persistent pest simply won't stop. Grabbing her wrist, he demands if she wants to be queen, then audaciously proposes she marry a future viscount like himself. This man has the delusional confidence of a hero despite being a total disappointment. 𝒂𝒐𝒊𝒏𝒕 begs Hal to take her to Sarah immediately, a request that makes the big wolf knight's day truly complete. Carried by Hal, 𝒂𝒐𝒊𝒏𝒕 leaps through the air and delivers a divine hammer strike, knocking the seaweed-haired creep unconscious. Holy weapons aren't exactly meant for bashing humans like this. But he is just a monster, so it's fine. As Hal hauls him up, glowing magical cotton spills from his pouch. When the boy finally wakes, his wrists and feet are firmly bound. The Duke looms over him while 𝒂𝒐𝒊𝒏𝒕 watches like a boss. He is charged with insulting a guest and grand theft. The evidence? Stolen magical cotton found inside his pocket. These floating tufts are actually concentrated bundles of pure magical energy. They allow non-mages to cast spells simply by absorbing them, making them an incredibly rare and priceless treasure. 𝒂𝒐𝒊𝒏𝒕 finally understands that lazy prince from her past only seemed talented because he was using stolen magic cotton. He actually had the nerve to claim it was all natural genius. This rare plant is nearly extinct. Valkyrin law demands a 3-year banishment for theft, which Welston thinks he can handle. Yet, the Duke adds that stealing a protected species results in a permanent exile from the entire Northern Territory. Plus, his wrists might be chopped first, forcing a terrified Welston to confess he was following the prince's orders. 𝒂𝒐𝒊𝒏𝒕 panics as they call the prince, but thankfully, Sarah retreats to her room before the connection is made. Welston wails for help the moment the prince answers. But what do you expect from royal trash? The prince plays innocent, apologizing to the Duke and abandoning his servant to face Valkyrin's harsh law in tears. 𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒕 glares at the screen, revolted by the prince's fake poise and polished lies. Fortunately, the call ends, and she no longer has to deal with that disgusting royal presence. Welston desperately contacts his father for help, while 𝒂𝒏𝒕 plans to sneak back later to watch his punishment. She heads to Sarah's room but finds her dear friend looking distressed after witnessing the earlier royal encounter. Sarah fled because seeing 𝒂𝒏𝒕 so frustrated made her feel like a burden. She now wonders if she is in the way or if 𝒂𝒏𝒕 is hiding secrets. 𝒂𝒏𝒕 can't exactly explain that meeting the prince will only lead to a future of heartbreak and pain. Sarah truly treasures 𝒂𝒏𝒕's affection, yet she struggles with the feeling that she doesn't deserve it. 𝒂𝒏𝒕 fiercely reassures her that she deserves all the love and happiness in the world. She recalls how Sarah was her only protector back when she was just a helpless mouse in a cage. Now that she possesses holy power, 𝒂𝒏𝒕 simply wants to repay that kindness and protection. Hearing this, Sarah finally smiles, understanding the deep bond that connects their two souls. Sarah reveals her painful truth. It wasn't kindness keeping her silent, but absolute, soul-crushing despair. But the winds have shifted. Now, she has a precious life to protect 𝒂𝒏𝒕. She begs to stand on her own feet, refusing to let the Saintess be stained by her darkness. 𝒂𝒏𝒕 finally awakens from her past shadows. Together, they'll forge a brand new path toward the light. That lucky noble trash keeps his head. His father's desperate plea barely saved his wretched skin. The price is high, though. Stripped of his title and exiled to the holy monastery. A total win for us. Meanwhile, those adorable magic spirits won't leave 𝒂𝒏𝒕's side. It's the Ratson bloodline awakening. The divine favor of God Penalis is finally manifesting. But a storm is brewing. The arrogant prince is heading here to apologize personally. 𝒂𝒏𝒕 readies her divine hammer. Gramps gives his permission, yet our little mousie's righteous rage is barely contained. Smashing royalty is tempting, but she won't risk Ed's future for a moment's revenge. She needs a tactical strike. And the knights are the perfect secret accomplices. At the training grounds, 𝒂𝒏𝒕 announces her top-secret mission to exile the prince. Only 5 elite slots available. The wolf knights are practically foaming at the mouth. Acting skills are mandatory. Captain Leopard and his sweethearts volunteer for the drama. Ugh, that flirtatious vibe is gross. Sorry, Leopard, you're disqualified for being a creep. The arrogant Prince Caesar arrives. He targets Ed first, acting like a childhood friend while hunting for Sarah. Ed shuts him down instantly. The matter is settled, and his secrets stay guarded. Caesar's interest is piqued. Is the stoic Ed protecting a secret ladylove? That devious smirk says it all. He wants to apologize just to cause more chaos. Ed sees through the mask. No one here is your plaything, Your Highness. The prince just laughs it off. Oh? I didn't know you hoarded rare magic cotton. He mocks Ed's lack of ambition. With that talent, he could be a superstar. Combine that sword with magic and your popularity would pierce the heavens. But Ed isn't a greedy peacock. He values hard work over cheap fame, what a man. He's perfect for Sarah. Caesar prowls the annex, seeking Sarah. He wants to steal Ed's woman and his magic. Suddenly, the cotton appears everywhere. I am the future king. This power belongs to me. He grabs a piece as 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒕 appears. Found it, so it's mine, kid. How pathetic. He tries to absorb the power, desperate to claim the divine energy as his own. Nothing happens. He looks foolish. Nice try, Your Highness. This cotton is already bound to 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒕's holy soul. Our girl loves his look of despair. Caesar is absolutely fuming with rage now. Before he lashes out, the knights arrive. Oh, were you saying something, little prince? The realization hits him hard. This brat is the 𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒕 family's sole heir. He's in deep trouble now, stealing magic and threatening a high-ranking noble. One wrong move and the kingdom will be breathing down his royal neck. He tries to play it cool. She's just a kid, surely she won't. Oh, but she definitely will. 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒕 immediately snitches on his attempted robbery. The knights go into actor mode. How dare you terrorize our precious lady? Crocodile tears flow as 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒕 cries. The prince retreats, cursed by his own greed. Once the trash is gone, our fierce knights turn back into protective big brothers. Mission accomplished. The first victory for the Saintess's secret squad. The prince retreats in total disgrace. Consumed by rage, he blacklists 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒕 and Ed, swearing he will never be deceived again. Not only did he raise a hand against her, he is nursing a pathetic grudge. Pure human trash. Today, the knights' training intensifies. 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒕's presence fuels their spirit, which is vital for the looming war 5 years away. Suddenly, the Duke mentions 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒕's clash with the prince. Sarah is stunned, feeling foolish for thinking she was the one protecting 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒕. Instead of faltering, she is fired up. She vows to become a pillar that 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒕 can truly lean on. This triggers a memory for 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒕, a dark moment on the brink of death. Sarah had begged the prince to let her serve their people, but he heartlessly crushed her plea. 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒕 won't let Sarah's potential wither. She is determined to pave the way for her friend's ultimate transformation. 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒕 promises Sarah unwavering support until she can finally stand tall on her own. She proposes that Sarah join the prestigious 𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒕 family, but royal law forbids 𝒖𝒂𝒄𝒓 human unions. The Duke offers sanctuary in 𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒕 instead, a gesture Sarah deeply treasures. However, she politely declines, asking the Duke to become her formal sponsor instead. She is ready to reclaim the Bluewood name and seize everything that was stolen from her. This complicates the Duke's mission to wipe out the Bluewoods at the 𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒕 family's request. Yet, he is certain the 𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒕s will concede once they realize Sarah is involved. After years of abuse, Sarah seizing the throne is the ultimate revenge. 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒕 can't wait to watch. In the 𝒖�𝒏𝒂𝒏 kingdom, the law grants inheritance rights to all children, regardless of gender. Direct bloodlines always hold the highest priority for the crown. The late king, who had only daughters, decreed this to keep his bloodline on the throne. This means our stunning Seraphina is the true Bluewood heir. How dare those imposters treat her like dirt? En route to the Bluewood estate, Ed proudly steps up as their personal bodyguard for the day. When 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒕's stomach growls, she asks Ed for sunflower seeds, his signature snack he carries everywhere. Even in her past life, the mouse community adored him for leaving seed trails wherever he wandered. Suddenly, it clicks. Ed has been carrying those seeds specifically for her this whole time. Now that she is by his side, he finally stopped. 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒕's heart melts. He truly is the ultimate green flag. Ed gives a soft smile. Instead of plain seeds, he has prepared special cookies baked exclusively for her. Sarah isn't amused. She is side-eyeing Ed for trying to bribe her precious 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒕 with treats. The ship hasn't sailed yet, but watching them compete for 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒕's affection is pure gold. They have arrived, and oh, how the tables have turned. Sarah's former tormentors are now groveling in the dust. The Count barks in fury, demanding Sarah make Ed disarm. Sarah responds with a dangerously sharp, confident smirk. Next, she grins at her stepmother. Savoring the moment, she reveals her name is missing from the family registry and accuses her of erasure. Witness the inner baddie. As her stepmother trembles, Sarah coolly remarks that mistakes are meant to be corrected. Relieved, the stepmother desperately promises she will never cause trouble for Sarah again. But Rose is still delusional, barking orders at Sarah like she is a common maid. Silence. A sharp slap from her own mother puts the brat in her place. Finally, Sarah demands her name back. But first, she is retrieving her late mother's keepsake from the treasure vault. While browsing the treasures, a red gem bracelet catches 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒕's eye, triggering a violent, sudden headache. A vision of the sinister Nyx basilisk wearing that exact bracelet flashes through her mind. He is the one who kidnapped and cursed her. Trembling, 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒕 demands to know where the bracelet came from. A masked stranger traded it for a single task, exterminating every last mouse in the mansion. Luckily, this villain was so busy bullying Sarah that she completely neglected the pest control. 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒕 wants that bracelet. The stepmother trembles. Sarah's chilling smile forces her hand as she demands the heirloom. This is no longer the weak girl she used to bully. After a few days, Edmund delivers the truth. The bracelet possesses no magic, it is merely a common, everyday trinket. With a grateful heart, Sarah offers her deepest thanks to Ed for his unwavering support during her time of need. Our sweet boy vows his protection. He cannot bear the thought of the misery she and Elodie have endured and promises to stay by their side. That dazzling smile. But when Elodie glimpsed Nyx's burning crimson eyes, the image of Karen immediately flashed through her mind. The resemblance is absolutely uncanny. Just as Eagles hinted before, there is a mysterious connection between them. The Duke is famous for sheltering orphans, sparking a theory. Is Karen truly a 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂, or is he actually the hidden Karen basilisk? Could a child really be a spy? It seems impossible, yet grandfather keeps him locked away in that lonely annex for a reason. Suspicion takes root in Elodie's heart. She is certain that Duke 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂 is burying a dark and dangerous secret. Karen is her final link to the basilisk. Elodie must keep him breathing in this life, so a second meeting is non-negotiable. Our little Saintess has a secret weapon. Her divine self-healing means no plague or contagious curse can ever harm her. Ed immediately shuts down her plan to cure him. Not even her father, the powerful high priest, could break Karen's mysterious curse. She cannot heal him yet, but she will. Elodie vows to grow stronger and prove she is the only one Karen can truly trust. For now, she must play it safe. Step by step, she will infiltrate his world and bridge the distance between them. A new heir rises. Sarah is officially Seraphina Bluewood now, and she's pouring her soul into her studies to lead her family. Exhausted from her lessons, Elodie drifts off on Sarah's lap. When she wakes, she offers a shy, sweet apology for falling asleep. It is a miracle! Elodie's innate holy aura acts like a battery, instantly washing away Sarah's fatigue with a single touch. Infiltration missions start. Elodie sneaks into the villa and notices the air is clean, there is no scent of rot or contagious decay. Her intuition screams the truth. This isn't a natural sickness. Karen is being slowly consumed by a lethal, hidden poison. Following a pained whimper, she enters the abyss. She knows this darkness well, having used it as her own refuge in the past. However, she has learned a hard lesson. Hiding in the shadows will never resolve the pain of the past. She pulls back the curtains to find him. There lies Karen, broken, weak, and trapped in an endless cycle of agony. Since she lacks the power to cure him today, she prays that her touch can at least offer a moment of divine peace. Stay away! I'm dangerous! Karen pushes her hand back with his last bit of strength before collapsing into a deep sleep. There is no need for alarm. His pained expression has softened, proving her holy touch is reaching his tortured soul. She gently tucks him in before vanishing. Black hair and crimson eyes, the classic traits of a tragic and powerful male lead. Jackpot, guys! Elodie has officially located the mysterious boy who will change her entire destiny. The proof is undeniable. Black venom and emerging scales confirm the truth. Karen is the legendary and feared basilisk. His own poison is overflowing. Without intervention, the toxins will continue to spiral out of control and consume him. This explains the future tragedy. In 5 years, a massacre will turn hundreds to dust. Is Karen the destined cause of that horror? If her theory is correct, there are only 2 dark reasons why Karen would commit such an unspeakable act. Either his body explodes from poison at the moment of death, or the basilisks force him into a final, suicidal rampage. She still has time. If he's a spy, she'll win his heart, but if that fails, she's ready to face him as a deadly enemy. Karen wakes to find a single button on the floor. It is the only evidence left by his mysterious midnight visitor. He remembers her warmth. For the first time in his life, his body feels lighter. How did her touch soothe his eternal pain? Panic strikes his heart. He's convinced his cursed, poisonous body has accidentally killed the only person who tried to help him. Finding her missing from the room, he rushes outside. He's determined to find her cold body and give her a proper burial. Oh, you charming drama king. The corpse you're looking for is actually cozy and warm, sleeping peacefully in her own bed. Elodie recalls her father's secret advice. If danger ever strikes, use the holy hammer to pave a way to safety. She gives it a swing and boom, the wall shatters, but it doesn't lead to a hallway. It opens a path to a hidden realm. This is no ordinary room. As she peers through the hole, she realizes she's looking into an entirely different dimension. Squeak! In her tiny mouse form, she scurries inside to find a library of impossible, grandiose proportions. She discovers a legendary tome written by the first head, Raphael, containing the forbidden secrets of resurrection and life. It's sealed shut. Around her sit priceless volumes on divine purification and detoxification, all radiating immense power. But the ancient archives remain silent. Not a single page will turn for our little mouse yet. Searching through the dusty archives, her eyes land on the legacy of the 23rd head Maximilian, her own father. Amidst tomes of anatomy and herbs, one title stops her heart, Our Little One, a book dedicated solely to her. Elodie is overcome with joy as the book finally opens for her. Yet grief strikes her. These words were penned in desperation, a father's prayer for his missing daughter's return. She realizes the other books remained shut because they weren't meant for her, unlike this precious gift from her father. Discovering a recipe for healing ointment, Elodie gathers the rare ingredients nearby and begins her very first alchemical experiment. She marvels at how easy medicine-making feels, soaking in the joy. Until suddenly, a voice erupts from the flames, critiquing her technique. Elodie screams as the fire itself starts talking back. Meet Inferno, the ancient fire spirit guarding this sanctuary. He's seen every book and knows every secret within these walls. Elodie begs for a way to break the family curse, but the spirit seems indifferent to the flow of fate. Though surprised to see a rats in here, Inferno decides to simply watch how this little mouse's destiny unfolds. She might have accepted a natural destiny, but she knows a hidden enemy is plotting her family's destruction. She refuses to surrender, vowing to save them all while Inferno watches from the sidelines with mild curiosity. Moved by her grit, Inferno strikes a deal. Master that book within a month, and he will grant his assistance. Oozing confidence, our heroine boasts she'll finish in 2 weeks, a decision she's now starting to deeply regret. Exhausted from studying, she seeks fresh air, but the clingy magic cotton spirits are beginning to test her patience. Eagles observes that her burgeoning divine power is overcharging the cotton spirits, making them more energetic than ever before. Realizing their worth, she decides to nurture them. They could be her secret trump card in the battles to come. Suddenly, a familiar black snake slithers into view, the very same one Elodie encountered once before. Realizing it's Karen, she ignores Eagles' warnings and gently lets the dangerous creature coil around her hand. Up close, she finds the serpent surprisingly adorable, captivated by its round head and shimmering eyes. Eagles spots an injury. Apparently, the clumsy boy hurt himself while frantically searching for Elodie's remains in the woods. Elodie puts her newly crafted ointment to the test, watching in awe as the wound seals up almost instantly. The snake slithers away, transforming back into Karen. Relieved that she survived their contact, Karen watches as Elodie masters new alchemy potions of courage and candles that banish nightmares. However, Squirrel grows worried seeing her constant exhaustion. She suggests it's time to consult the renowned Dr. Packer. He was the physician to the late Duchess, who tragically perished in an accident 5 years ago. Squirrel notes the doctor has been treating Ed's chronic insomnia since the heartbreaking loss of his mother. Elodie's rest is shattered by the wild howls of Zenobia, the infamous mad dog of the family. Future nobles will tremble at his name, fearing his drunken outbursts and the chaos he brings to every gala. Word is that Zen is a genius with the blade, yet his talent for trouble is equally unmatched. For now, he's merely a troubled child with a short fuse, hardly a threat to our clever heroine. When questioned about his hatred for beast folk, Zen sneers that rats are filthy creatures with repulsive ears and tails. Unfazed, Elodie warns him to mask his prejudice. In this neutral zone, his grandfather won't tolerate such disrespect. Suddenly, the door bursts open as Gramps storms in. Furious at his grandson, he ignores Zen's tearful protests of innocence and begins another harsh lecture. Bitter that his own grandfather barely recognizes him, Zen rants in frustration before storming out in a huff. Gramps promises Zen will behave, but Elodie insists on handling him alone, vowing to extract a proper apology herself. Thanks to Ed's stern intervention, the two rivals find themselves forced to share a meal together. Elodie tries a friendly approach, praising her pie, but Zeno stubbornly insists his lobster is far superior. Their bickering escalates until Zeno loses his temper, stuffing a piece of his lobster right into Elodie's mouth. She's shocked by how delicious it is, a reaction that fills the young boy with unexpected pride. He talks a big game about hating beast folk, yet he willingly hands his own fork to the little mouse. It turns out the little troublemaker isn't so bad after all. Zen reveals the heartbreaking truth. His grandfather once called him Ed, looking disappointed the moment he realized his mistake. In this grand house, Zen felt like a forgotten shadow, the least loved of all the heirs. He accepted third place, but seeing Elodie arrive made him feel truly discarded. The poor boy finally bursts into tears. Seeing his pain, Elodie steps in. She urges him to stop overthinking and confront the Duke directly. She is absolutely certain that a grandfather's love doesn't just vanish into thin air. With a radiant, encouraging smile, she promises they will face the old man together. Look at these two little ones heading to the office. But wait, a mysterious stranger has arrived claiming to be Cassian, the long-lost nephew. The Duke is the only soul who remembers Cassian's face from before the Great War. 12 years have passed since the boy vanished. This stranger claims a tragic case of amnesia kept him away. To prove his royal blood, he presents a locket with his parents' portraits, slowly stirring the Duke's buried memories. He even recalls an old nickname, Runt, which pierces the Duke's defenses. The gates to the office finally swing open, but our sharp-witted Elodie and Zen aren't buying this act for a single second. With the Duke as the sole witness, everything hinges on his ability to recognize his own kin. Zen fears it is a lack of love, but Elodie suspects a much darker medical mystery is at play. In just 2 weeks, Elodie masters the ancient texts. Inferno, impressed by her genius, pledges his full support. Her first mission? Finding a divine cure for the curse that steals the ability to recognize faces. Inferno warns there is no simple potion. Healing depends entirely on the patient's burning will to see again. The Duke carries a heavy cross. He once laughed off his brother's plea to protect his family. While he was drowning in the blood of battle, his brother's lands were being swallowed by flames. He rushed back through the smoke, but found only cold ashes where his family once stood. He desperately wants this boy to be his nephew, so he can finally face his brother's ghost in peace. Elodie marches into the office, scolding the Duke for hurting Zen. The Duke finally confesses he doesn't hate his grandson. The tragic truth is revealed. He simply cannot see the faces of those he loves. Years on the battlefield broke his mind. He lost the ability to tell a friend's cry from an enemy's scream. A shattered leg and a lost identity. He accepts this face blindness as a divine punishment for his failures. Elodie realizes this isn't a curse he was born with, but a scar left by the horrors of war. If the wound came from battle, then a miracle of holy power can surely wash it away. But the Duke refuses the light. He believes he must suffer in darkness to pay for his sins. Elodie won't stand for it. She demands he heal for Zen's sake, promising to use her power to mend his soul. The Duke finally realizes his obsession with the past has left his living grandchildren in the cold. He takes the medicine, desperate to see their beautiful faces before his time in this world ends. But the world remains a blur. Despair washes over him as the darkness refuses to lift. Elodie smiles, revealing the medicine was just a test of his heart. She takes his hand, sensing his true sincerity. Suddenly, divine magic erupts. The blur vanishes, and Elodie's adorable features finally come into sharp focus. Her holy power has awakened. The Duke instantly turns his gaze toward his brother's old photograph. With clear eyes, the truth is undeniable. The man outside is a fraud. His brother was a prince of unmatched grace. 5 years ago, a lowly beggar mistook a clever con man for the young master he once served. When the servant whispered that the Duke was blind to faces, the villain saw his chance for gold. The impostor used this weakness to escape his pathetic life, weaving a web of lies to enter the palace. For 5 long years, he studied every detail. When his source died, he stepped into the light to play his role. His performance was flawless, but he never expected to cross paths with our brilliant Saintess, Elodie. She calls him a low-life con artist. To prove it, she offers him a chalice of terrifying truth serum. The Duke offers a final deal. Prove you are a true 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂, or face the wrath of the heavens. He doesn't have a shred of royal blood in him. And that's a wrap for today's epic reveal, everyone. Smash like to bless her. Comment if you crave the next holy miracle. Subscribe and ring the bell. Witness her divine ascension in the next update.